Hi, today is a flexibility practice. We're going to start laying down today. So let's go ahead and come onto our back and we're going to start in triple diamond pose. So let's create the first diamond shape down in our legs. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop open wide so that you have a diamond shape down through your legs. We'll create a second one up through the arms. So we're going to bend the elbows and just kind of stack your hands one on top of the other so that you have a diamond shape now in your arms. Our third and final diamond will be within our hands. So we'll spread out a little bit here so that the pointer fingertips can touch and the thumb tips touch, and we make a diamond shape in the hands. Let's let out a deep exhale breath. Settle into the support of the sturdy ground underneath of you. We'll take a few moments here just wide open now as we start to tune into our breath and the way that our body feels in these first few moments of our practice. And this is a pose of opening, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to just open up space throughout our body so that if there are things that we are holding on to within the body, stored emotions, tension, just some things that we maybe need to let go of, today will be the opportunity to open up those doors that have been tightly closed and allow some of that stuff just to go, to leave the body. So here in this first opening posture that is wide open in and of itself, we feel the space that we're creating through the hips. We feel an openness through our hands and a spaciousness around our heart. And let's witness the breath here as it moves through the body. We can think about the three parts of the breath as we feel an expansion around the belly. We feel it around the ribs, and we also feel it around the heart. And with the exhale, we feel each of those places just kind of collapsing back in, letting go and emptying out. Almost like you have a pitcher down in your torso and you fill it up from the base through the body all the way up to the brim. And then you're also able to empty it back out from the brim through the body and down to the base. So let's take a few more breaths that way, filling up and then pouring it back out. Let's come out of the diamond in the legs first. So we'll pull the knees back together and we'll come into constructive rest pose. We'll then release the diamond from the hands as you just relax your fingers now and let them curl in. And then let's bring the arms down by our sides and shimmy the shoulder blades just a little further down the back. We'll then lift and draw the knees into the chest. And we're going to give ourselves a hug here as we curl up and tuck the chin. And if it feels okay for your body, go ahead and straighten your legs. Maybe climb your hands up a little higher here. Imagine like you are in a standing forward fold, but we have just flipped it down onto our back. So our head is pulling towards the feet. And here in this position, we're opening up space through the back of our body. So behind the neck, down along the spine, across the lower back, and down through the backs of the legs. So feel the stretch there. Let's inhale. With the exhale, we can bend the knees and we can rock ourselves up. And we're going to go ahead and just come around to tabletop. And let's take another kind of back body opener here with our downward facing dog. So we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips and pull the hips away from the hands. And just notice here the space again that you're creating through the backs of your legs and the back of your body. If you want to find a little more space around the calf muscles, you can alternately bend your knees a few times, pedaling your heels. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and drop to the knees, come into a tabletop. So we'll bring the wrists right underneath the shoulders, and we're going to kickstand the right foot off of the mat and slide the left leg out. So kneeling side plank, we've seen this one a lot in the series. So here it is again. Let's see if we can take that left arm and then just kind of thread it behind, and it can find the lower back, or maybe it even finds the back of the right hip. And we just press down through the supporting arm. We're kind of pressing the hips forward, pulling that top shoulder back. So nice and open here across the chest, the front of the shoulder. Maybe you can move your eye gaze up just for a moment. Good. And then we'll lift that arm back up. And from here, we're going to push up onto the knee and come with parallel arms. So we're going to set up our gate pose now. So we're going to reach out over that long leg and then just tip here into a side bend, a lateral flexion of your spine. And this is called gate. And we can think about it and feel it here in our body, how we have just opened up the gate of the side body. They do say that we store some negative emotions in the side body, in particular through the right side, anger and resentment. So if you have anything like that in your body, this is an opportunity to open the gate wide open and let it leave. Say goodbye. Nice. We'll come back through the parallel arms. We're going to come back into the kneeling side plank. And one more time, we're just going to swim that arm behind. Press gently where you land. This time you can look down. You can stay just like this. I want to emphasize that. If you want to challenge yourself, you can slide that bottom foot out and just take a moment or two here in a full side plank with this wide open top shoulder. Good. Unthread from wherever you are, and then let's just turn and close that pose, and we'll come into a traditional plank. You can be on your toes or down on your knees. We'll take a breath in here, and then with the exhale, we're going to pull back again into either child's pose or downward facing dog. And then this time as we come back down to hands and knees, we're going to take that left arm, lift it up towards the ceiling, and then we'll go ahead and thread it under. So coming into a threading of the needle shoulder stretch now. And now you may be noticing some space that you're creating through the back of that left shoulder. So as you press gently into the right hand to roll the right shoulder a little higher, you could choose to lift that right hand up if it feels okay. You could also choose to wrap that arm around towards the opposite hip. And again, just press gently there once you've landed. So we're creating a lot of space all around the shoulder girdle, both the front and the back side. Shoulders happen to be a place where we hold tension and stress. So this is an opportunity to invite that stress, that tension to leave the body. Let's come back up with the right arm. Let's come back down. Let's unthread. And then let's just sit back together here into child's pose. We're going to also spider walk the fingers out a little further forward. So extended child's pose. And see what space you're creating here just with that little bit more of an active reach in this posture. As we come forward into a kneeling plank, if it feels okay for your body, we're then going to let the hips drop down and the heart continue to lift up. So it's a kneeling up dog as we lengthen the belly now. And we just create some space right around the front of the pelvis and again around the front of the ribs and even into the heart. Good. Let's pull back. We'll take just one little cat pose release here. And then we're going to do everything to the other side. So coming into a neutral spine, let's kickstand the left foot now off of the mat. Slide the right leg out. We'll lift the right arm up, coming into a kneeling side plank. We'll then take that right arm and swim it around behind the body to press against the lower back or to press against the back of the left hip here. See if you can turn your head up comfortably, and we're pulling that top shoulder not only back but kind of down and away from the face so that the neck also has some space. Good. We'll lift the arm back up, and then we're going to push up, coming to that parallel place here with the arms, reaching out over the right leg, tipping into gate pose, opening up the left side body where we tend to house our guilt and our shame. So again, any negative emotions that you may be holding on to inside of your body. This is an opportunity to tell them to go goodbye. Good. Let's come back down to the kneeling side plank here where you can choose to stay. We're going to wrap that right arm around again. And if you wanted to slide that left foot out, you could just for a few breaths here. Maybe this time we're now going to look down at the bottom hand. Good. As we unwind the right arm, we pick it back up and then we just turn to the mat to plank or kneeling plank. And then we'll pull back into either down dog or child's pose. Find an exhale breath here. Another opportunity to kind of cleanse the body of some things you don't want or need. We'll come down to hands and knees. We're going to lift the right arm high towards the sky and then thread the needle and take that right arm underneath. We'll start just by first pressing into the left hand to really get a nice rotation up around the shoulders. And then if it works, you can pick up the left hand and maybe even wrap it around if you'd like. As we're creating space around the shoulders, let's try to release some of the tension from the face while we're at it. So unclench the jaw and maybe even shift around some of the muscles in the face. Good. Let's come back up with that top arm. Let's unthread. And then we'll come back to child's pose. Exhale your way in, settle in. Good. We'll come forward again through the kneeling plank into the kneeling up dog where you could choose to stay or you could press in to the tops of the feet, lift the knees off of the floor. Hips are heavy, heart gets lighter, head is lifting high. Notice what space you are creating here in this pose. And then we'll pull all the way back into down dog. And then we're going to take a walk forward here. And we'll drape down over the legs. And just like we did towards the beginning where we imagined our standing fold laying on our back, we're now standing. And so we're just draping forward here, letting gravity take over through the head, the torso, the arms. And we're welcoming a whole lot of space through the entire back of the body. How's the lower back? How are your hamstrings? How's your upper back? Let's go ahead and come up the legs. We'll come to standing. Now I am going to sneak in a little balancing pose here to create some space through the quadriceps and the hip flexors. So if you wanted to come close to a wall, something to hold on to, because balance day is not till tomorrow after all. So no shame in getting a little help so that we can focus on the stretch rather than having to worry too much with the balance. But we're going to try to take hold of that left foot behind us. So we're coming into dancer's pose. And again, you can be holding on or not. If the foot doesn't want to come in, if the hand can't seem to find it today, what you could do is step back and take a little mini lunge here. So you kind of tuck your tail under and you welcome some space there in the top of the thigh and into the hip crease. But if it does feel okay to hold on, you'll do so. We'll flex the foot gently. That's going to help us just kind of stabilize and protect the knee a bit. And you can stay here or you can lift up and you can tip, kind of kicking the foot back into the hand and letting the hand pull back into the foot. Good. We'll inhale here. As we exhale and let that go, can you hook the foot behind the other one? If that doesn't feel good, just go side by side instead. That's okay too. Okay. If it does feel okay, you're going to soften the knees a little bit. We're going to sweep the arms up and then we're going to press prayer hands down the midline as we come into a cross leg fold. And exhale. Go ahead and settle in. Let's take one half fold here. So climb up onto the shins, look for some spinal length and space there. And then just drape again back down over the legs. Your knees are a little bit soft, a micro bend there. Could feel good and interesting to walk your hands over to the right side for a moment and kind of push out into that left hip a bit. Good, and then come back to the center. Let's go ahead and uncross the feet and just bring them side by side back into a traditional fold. We're then going to climb up onto the shins, pull the head way out here from your hips. We will bend the right knee a little bit. We're going to reach the right hand across to the left shin. We're going to take a twist here inside of our forward fold as we lift up with that top arm. Head is forward, hips are back, tailbone is back. Can you turn the head down and make sure that your neck is long? Big breath in here, inhale. Exhale. Last thing we're going to do here is come back into the fold and then see if you can reach up, catch and hold, and add a chest expansion on. And let the knuckles lift high while the crown of the head continues to drop low. And any tension that you've been carrying around the collarbone and the shoulders and the heart, it has an opportunity here just to spill out. Now, on the way up, we're going to bend the knees a little bit more. See if you can't keep holding on with that chest expansion as you lift up. And then once you get there, even lean it back just a bit. Good. Then we'll let that go. We're going to wrap the left arm under the right, eagle arms here. Let's open up the feet a little bit wider. We're going to lift the elbows. Remembering here, you can always unwind it a little bit. Arch back just a bit, but then with the exhale, we're going to bend our knees and almost like an elephant trunk here, swinging down, we're going to drop the arms. Let's do that a couple of times. Can you lift back up with those eagle arms and then even arch it back a little bit here? And then with the exhale, go ahead and come on down and just swing low. Good. One more time here. Inhaling, lifting it up. And exhaling, we'll come in, we'll hold this one just for a few extra breaths. Could feel interesting and good, perhaps, to bend your knees here, almost like you're going to sit back into a chair. This is optional. Okay, and then just for a moment, lift your arms up. A little awkward, a little different. It's okay to experience some different things on the mat sometimes. Good, go ahead and come back down. Unwind the arms. Let's lift it up here, reversing our swan dive. And then just coming back to the heart. So let's do everything to the other side. Dancer's pose. We're going to reach back, catch and hold, maybe hold on to something sturdy if that's helpful for you today. Okay, also remember that option to step back and just kind of tuck under here. So expressing it the way that feels good and right and spacious for your body. Good, an inhale breath here. Exhale, as you release it, can you cross it behind the other one or go side by side if that's better today? Let's be mindful not to lock the knees, so softness there. We'll inhale, lift up, we'll press the prayer hands down the midline, we'll dive into the depths of our cross leg forward fold today. We'll come up halfway looking for some spinal length. And then exhale, release back down. And maybe once you get there, you want to walk your hands over to the left to see how that feels. Good, let's come back to the center. We will uncross the legs. And then we'll climb up onto the shins. We're going to bend the, let's see, left knee now. Left hand reaches across to the right shin. Right arm reaches up. A spinal twist here in your half fold. Inhaling. As we exhale, we'll come down back into the fold, adding the chest expansion on again. So interlacing fingers, reaching high through the knuckles, tucking the chin, and letting all the tension, the stress, the clutter just slip right out here. Good. Let's see if we can maintain that chest expansion as we lift up. And this time we're going to wrap the right arm under the left. Open up the feet just a little bit. Wrap to where it feels good for you. We'll lift the arms. Inhale. On the exhale, an elephant trunk swing as we sway down between the legs. Twice more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good. One more time. Let's go ahead and come down. Hold this one. You could try bending your knees a whole lot and just kind of nestle your wrapped arms down between the legs and then challenge yourself here just for a moment. A very unique expression of eagle. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Let's unwind. Let's reverse our swan dive. Come high. Exhale. Hands to the heart. Good. Let's go ahead and take it back down to the ground. We can bring the feet a little closer together here first and then just dive down and go ahead and come all the way down to the ground. We'll swing the legs around and we will lay back onto our back because it is so important here to take these still moments at the end of the practice, not only to rest and rejuvenate, but to really just kind of analyze what happened to your body during your time on the mat. Let's recognize the effects of our movement, how it feels, hopefully how good it feels. See if you don't feel a little bit more spacious here in these final moments of the practice. And within that spaciousness, we can let the breath and the energy just flow more freely. So stay here as long as you can. Continue to use that exhale breath just to flush out, and the inhale breath to rejuvenate and kind of regroup. So thanks for trusting me to guide you today. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.